Hello, my name is Michael Favala Goldman. I'm in Northampton, Massachusetts, in the northeastern United States. I've translated 18 books of Danish literature, including memoir and short stories by Tove Ditlevsen, essays by Susanne Borger, poetry by Benny Andersen, and many others. Today, I'm happy to read an excerpt from my translation of Global Sex. Global Sex by Danish anthropologist and author Sine Plambech dives into complex issues at the heart of the sex trade through powerful stories of several women whom Sine meets during her travels in Denmark, Thailand, Nigeria, Sicily, Dubai. As Sine follows and befriends sex workers, we learn how they're seeking to escape poverty and dire straits in their home countries, how they're using sex work as a way to support their families back home and as a way to fund a passage to Europe. Global Sex won 2 2024 nonfiction awards in Denmark and is now available in my English translation through Akoya Publishing. In the chapter I'm about to read, Sine is in Bangkok, Thailand in 2007 for a UN conference on sex trafficking. From her hotel, she makes a phone call to a woman named Lum, who's a sex worker that she met and befriended earlier that year in the Thai city of Pattaya. I call Lum from my hotel and ask if she wants to come to Bangkok and stay with me for a few days. The room has 2 beds, comes with breakfast and a swimming pool. Would she like a little break? Lum arrives that evening on the bus in her work clothes. Tight shorts, black eye makeup, and a short top with a pink print. We check her into the hotel where the receptionist looks a bit confused. Up in the room, Lum tells me she's pregnant and that she doesn't have the money for an abortion. That was partly why she said yes so fast to coming to Bangkok. Without knowing, I had called her at a critical moment. We have to think quickly. At that time, up until 2021, abortions were illegal in Thailand, except under very special circumstances. Women like Lum could face up to 3 years in prison and a fine equivalent to an inconceivable 1,500 British pounds. But Lum knows a place in Bangkok where she can have it done. So the next day, we go together to an illegal abortion clinic. The clinic's located behind a high wall with lush trees in the yard. There, girls and women sit in a row on plastic chairs waiting to be called. Lum is afraid of getting caught. And then it's her turn. She comes out half an hour later, walking slowly, with difficulty. We take a taxi back to the hotel, and she lies down with a sanitary pad between her legs, a pillow on her belly, while I go out and get some food for us. Later, I ask her if I should ask one of the organizations that I'm meeting with to see if they could help her. She can't work right after the abortion, and she won't have anywhere to live right upon her return to Pattaya, as she won't be able to afford her room. I could give her a bit of money, but I can't support her long term or find her a place to live. Maybe she could go to one of these organizations' crisis centers. Lum agrees. So I schedule a time with a Thai social worker who will come and see Lum at our room the next day. Lum's nervous. She asks me, "What should I do to get the woman to help me?" She suggests maybe not putting on her makeup. Then, when the woman comes to see her, she'll look more sick than she really feels. Lum always wears makeup, even back in her home village. But she's afraid that if she does so here, the woman from the crisis center won't think her problems are bad enough to deserve help. I say that a woman like her, who sells sex, who just had an abortion, has no place to live and can't work, ought to be able to get assistance without having to look sick. While I'm off working the next day, the social worker comes to our hotel room door and offers Lam a spot at their crisis center in Bangkok. There they provide food and a bed, but not work or money. Lam turns it down. She has to earn money. When I return to our room in the evening, Lam is lying on the bed with her 2 phones, flirting with her clients. She's trying to get them to send her money from wherever they are in the world. They've returned home from their vacations in Pattaya and are now back in their daily routines, while Lam tries to get them to hold on to their memories. In her sweetest voice, she says to them, "Remember the time we had." Lam has bought street food in little plastic bags. I take off my work shirt and my sweaty shoes and lie down on the bed. I'm exhausted after an hour in Bangkok's busy streets and a day of meetings about human trafficking. My brain is both buzzing and shutting down. I ask her if it's stressful to have 2 telephones and so many clients to keep track of. While she continues to navigate between clients, she says, "No, it's my job." I don't understand how you manage your job. It must be stressful to have to show up at a certain time and to have so many meetings and have to write so much and speak in front of other people. And it doesn't seem fun at all. And you're not in charge. She says, "I wouldn't want your job at the UN." 10 days after her abortion, Lam takes the bus back to Pattaya. Global Sex is a really unique book that contributes uncompromising, powerful stories and wisdom about how we view the world and ourselves. And it's available from Akoya Publishing in the UK. Thank you very much.